I'm obsessed with food and obsessed with eating right, obsessed with working out and being so fit and yada yada. And that's probably the worst I ever felt in my life. I felt so stressed with not being able to keep up with those things, not being able to. I had fear of my surroundings. I had fear of going out to eat. I had fear of these are. So once you start creating fear, it's like you're not living. Your whole nervous system is just living in survival and not in thrival. And so my nervous system was not doing well in my early 20s. They diagnosed me with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. My menstruation was off and or non-existent. It would come and go, come and go. So that's already telling if you're having that, if you're listening to this as a woman and having menstrual issues, the endocrine system is imbalanced. So my endocrine system was imbalanced, and there's a whole communication pathway from the thyroid, pituitary gland, the ovaries, the adrenals that want a nice balanced communication. And so that was imbalanced. So I'm seeking different functional nutritionists, all these things. I go to a practitioner and she tells me, this is the question that broke me open. She said, Alyssa, what is shaming you? That's all she asked. Alyssa, what is shaming you? And I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. What are you talking about? I wasn't in tune with my own emotions. And she's like, what is shaming you? And something, when she said that specifically, Ryan, a memory came to mind when I was about 9 or 10. And I said, no, that didn't really happen. Whatever. I denied it altogether when she asked that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth That Heals podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today I'm with special guest, Alyssa Carmona. She is also a podcaster. She has her podcast, and she is a holistic health coach at Holistic Wealth, which is also the name of her podcast. And in her bio, Alyssa Carmona empowers you to understand the deep connection between your emotions and your body as a path to true growth. Through thought-provoking insights and practical tools, she offers guidance. You can start applying right now to elevate your health and emotional well-being. Welcome to the show, Alyssa. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me. I'm excited to have this discussion with you today.
And can you tell the audience what topic we're going to be hitting on?
Well, I would like to empower people with some simple self-care tips. I know, especially now, we're in information overload, right? There's tons of things on TikTok, there's tons of things all over the internet, and just simple keys that can help us feel better right now and to keep in mind every day from the time we wake up to right before we go to bed. So I would like to cover that, and hopefully people get some helpful angles that they can incorporate after they listen to this.
Awesome. So I'm excited. But before we dive into the actual discussion of tips for the self, let's go back and look at the work that you do. Can you share with us a bit about the work that you do?
Yes, so I work with people one-on-one, and as a holistic healthcare practitioner, holistic is bringing in not just a health coach. Often it's like can be difficult to describe people. There's just so many categories, right? And so I work with specifically the nervous system to create change in someone's body. So the holistic approach is the mind-body approach. Emotions are involved. We cannot ignore the emotions. And so it's balancing the nervous system and seeing what is going on in the body field through the lens of Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine states that there's 12 meridians within the body. And now these meridians, these grid lines throughout the system, can either have too much energy, not enough energy, or blocked energy. And so I'm working with someone's nervous system. They're doing the work. I'm there to guide them, working with that meridian flow to bring back balance ultimately. If we're having symptoms, That is saying the body is looking for balance. So a lot of people that find me have been diagnosed with some type of chronic disease. And I want to break that down. What is disease? Dis-ease. It is the absence of ease in the system. That's all it is. And then we go out when we're having these symptoms to find the solution or the cure and or the diagnosis, right? I'm having this symptom, that symptom, a whole list of symptoms and looking for the diagnosis. Well, I do not diagnose people. I'm looking for those imbalances. And often when they go into Western medicine, they will eventually give you a diagnosis. And then that diagnosis gets slapped onto the person and told there is no cure for them. And they will live like this for the rest of their life. And there are some options take X, Y, and Z, medications, whatever it may be. And that's it. And so from a holistic standpoint, hey, what's going on? How's the environment you're living in? Is the person stressed? Is the person drinking enough water? Is the person looking at lifestyle factors as well? What could they be holding on to that they haven't processed since childhood? That now they're in their 40s, 50s, and all this stress, this tension has built up within their nervous system that is looking to explode, come out of their system. And so that's working with the nervous system, working with the body to guide people to bring more balance back into their life. It could look like coaching. And in office here in San Antonio, I work with people in office and I work specifically with biofeedback, different frequencies to work with the nervous system, to relax the mind and the body, to bring back information into the cells. The body is always looking for information. And when we give the system the information it's looking for, it's inevitable. Change will occur. And that's the beauty of this work. It's change work. If you want to stay the same, do not come see me. If you want change, I am more than happy to work with you.
Something that you just hit on is the fact that there are people who have, for example, unhealed trauma that they bottle it in. And my question for you is, why do you think maybe, well, at least here in America, in our country, not trying to be political or anything like that, or religious political, but why do you think it is that so many American citizens, well, I know that there are a number of people who are turning away from that, but there still are a large population of people who are keeping it bottled in those traumas, and instead of talking about it, just still going to the doctor, getting the same treatments where it's a perpetual, uh, you're on medicine for life or you're on a pill for life, where the root of the problem is still there. Why do you think that is, that it's not being more talked about?
Well, I think too, it's like it's been rejected. The emotions have been rejected. Everything has been so analytical. And the school system is very analytical. The way we're often raised is very analytical. And it's like, hold your emotions together, right? And it can be from generation after generation being told not to cry, being told to keep it together for society, don't look insane. And so it's like whatever the messages our parents told us to keep it together, don't cry, be strong, these things, everything has been so analytical in wanting to see the grades, right? Schooling. It's like, oh, I got a C or I got an A. Everything's been so analytical to where we don't want to talk about our emotions because there's shame around it. And so with shame, it gets repressed, it gets denied, it gets rejected altogether. And denial is a big one that I had to personally work through in recognizing what was I holding on to in my 20s. I was really sick. And that's what really led me into more of the emotions and the mindset and things like that. And it was so much repressed shame and so much repressed and denied things like, no, that never happened, that never happened. And so a lot of times it's taught behavior from our parents, from our guardians that you just keep it a secret. You just act like it's not there and it doesn't exist. And so it doesn't work that way. The Body Keeps the Score, which is a book by Professor, I forget his name, but it's a really popular book. And he's shining light on this, that the body is keeping the score. You can think that you covered it up and put it underneath a rug. Okay, there's dirt in the living room. Let's just put it up. It piles up. And the same way, in the body, it piles up until you can't take it anymore. And then it's like that's the stress threshold that's been met. Something has to change. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not as bad, so there will be no change. And everyone is on their own journey. And often I will see people when it's like the stress threshold has been met. So now they're ready to invest in their health because they can't take another day living like that. It's like, there's some uncomfortableness in my life, but it's not that bad. The person's not going to pay someone for change work. It's like, it's not that bad. So why would you change? You're comfortable being uncomfortable. So it's when the threshold has been met. I cannot take another day of this. Something has to change. That is where the beauty lies, because that is where the outsider may be, oh no, this person's going through so much. But that is really a miracle in disguise. It's the blessing in disguise. Because when you've reached that peak, that's when you're actually going to take some action or gain some new resources to create that positive change in your life.
So I want to get into the tips that you have for each person for self-care. But before we get into that, there's a question that I have to ask because you're talking about that threshold where that stress threshold, it's almost like a tongue twister, that stress threshold. But for you, because you mentioned earlier that there's a time where you were always sick.
Hmm.
For you, was there a pivotal moment or like something that just illumined you or that told you, damn it, Alyssa, enough's enough. I need to do something. What was that moment and how did you take a step forward from there?
Oh, that's such a great question. Yes. So I was really into nutrition and went to school for nutrition. And I thought I was going to be a nutritionist. I wanted to work as a dietitian. And I thought food could help everything, change everything. You eat the right foods, everything will come into balance. And so I was eating very clean and I was eating the good foods. These are good foods, these are bad foods. Everything gets labeled good and bad in the functional and holistic system too. And it doesn't work that way. Yes, there are foods that enhance your vitality, and there's foods that are just depleted in nutrients and not going to do anything for you. So, long story short, I'm obsessed with food and obsessed with eating right, obsessed with working out and being so fit and yada yada. And that's probably the worst I ever felt in my life. I felt so stressed with not being able to keep up with those things, not being able to. I had fear of my surroundings. I had fear of going out to eat. I had fear of these are. So once you start creating fear, it's like you're not living. Your whole nervous system is just living in survival and not in thrival. And so my nervous system was not doing well in my early 20s. They diagnosed me with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. My menstruation was off and or non-existent. It would come and go, come and go. So that's already telling if you're having that, if you're listening to this as a woman and having menstrual issues, the endocrine system is imbalanced. So my endocrine system was imbalanced. And there's a whole communication pathway from the thyroid, pituitary gland, the ovaries, the adrenals that want a nice balanced communication. And so that was imbalanced. So I'm seeking different functional nutritionists, all these things. I go to a practitioner and she tells me, this is the question that broke me open. She said, Alyssa, what is shaming you? That's all she asked. Alyssa, what is shaming you? And I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. What are you talking about? I wasn't in tune with my own emotions. And she's like, what is shaming you? And something, when she said that specifically, Ryan, a memory came to mind when I was about 9 or 10. And I said, no. that didn't really happen. Whatever. Denied it altogether when she asked that. And then I went home, I reflected, like, what is she talking about? What shame? Like, what? So I was carrying within my nervous system when I was 9, a family member scared the crap out of my little 9-year-old self, and the man was drunk and he put his tongue in my ear. What happens to a kid's nervous system? Well, they question, what's happening? I literally gasped. I was sleeping, I was napping, and this happens all the time. It's like 1 in 3 women are molested in some way, and 1 in 5, 6 men. And so it's a very common thing. But the thing here, it's not about what happened to me in that moment, it's how my nervous system processed it. And as a child, no one spoke to me afterwards about it. And I denied and rejected that it happened to me altogether. So there was in German new medicine, it is called a scare fright conflict. So my whole nervous system went into scare fright. And then on top of that, I was already warned by my mother constantly because my mother had gone through her own sexual trauma as a child. And so she had warned us 3 girls. My mother had 3 daughters. Be very careful. Be careful who you're around. Be careful. Weren't allowed to go to sleepovers, things like that. So you're already very aware that, oh, I need to protect my children. So my little 9-year-old self then blamed it on myself because I was already warned about these things. So my perception then was, why did you let this happen to you? And so it was not kindness, it was not loving, it was not gentleness, it was blame, and it was denial. Eventually, I denied it happened to me altogether. So something so simple like that. So if you're listening to this now, go back in time and ask yourself, what is shaming you? And that can be a breakthrough thing in what has not been processed within the nervous system. That's what's leading to drug abuse, alcohol abuse, all these things. It's the addiction is occurring because there's some repressed shame or denial altogether of facts. It happened. And it's coming back into a balanced state of, hey, I'm safe. I don't have to live in that denial. Denial is an emotion that festers in the stomach and messes with the digestion. So it makes things all tight. You'll have malabsorption, bloating, gas, indigestion, things like that. So that can be another thing that can lead to chronic illness, where the emotions are getting repressed or stored in the body. Does that answer your question in a long way?
Well, when you were asked that, what is shaming you? And of course, you've taken that time to process, look back to the memory files. From there, what step were you able to take forward that has led you to not just focusing on nutrition, but now has helped you to see health in a holistic perspective?
Oh, was just to feel your feelings. Feel your feelings. And so it's that simple, is back to how I mentioned about everything being so analytical, where we often don't even feel what we're feeling. And it was, if if you feel scared or if you feel like crying, allow yourself to feel it. There are no bad emotions. And it's the emotion that gets repressed, denied, rejected, that gets stored. So allow the emotions just flow through you to return back to safety. So that's okay, I'm feeling all this rage, this anger. And then often that's seen as, oh, that's a bad emotion. I shouldn't be ticked off. I shouldn't be cursing at the person driving, cutting me off in traffic. And it's like you feel it. Accept that you feel that way because there was a boundary violation. It's a protective mechanism. And so we react in a certain way to protect us. But then it's the rejection or the denial of that feeling that gets things trapped. And that's what a lot of anxiety is today. It is trapped emotion. and lack of movement. Because when we move, we are breaking through energy, we are sweating, we are letting out that anger through exercise. But with a sedentary lifestyle, there's going to be lots of built up mental anger, reading the news, reading all these things. And now we have all this repressed rage inside us. Well, what can that lead to? Well, some negative things. And so when we just acknowledge, wow, I'm feeling angry right now, scanning ourselves, and just that's mindfulness saying, well, how do I feel that this person just said this to me? Where is this coming from? Are they hitting an old wound, an old insecurity that I have? Or is this actually true and I just hate what they said? And so it's like that's what a lot of conflict has turned into. It's usually just some type of insecurity. If I were to call you a crunchy leaf, Ryan, how does that make you feel?
For me, I laugh about it,
Right?
personally.
You're like that
I was
because it doesn't resonate. It doesn't resonate with you. A crunchy leaf, that means nothing to me. Like, so now if it's another word that, hey, perhaps that resonates with me, it's a matching system. Whoa, it can make us feel uncomfortable. So it's getting to know ourselves too really well and recognizing, well, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Because we all have them. And then acknowledging them. That's okay. We have weaknesses. What somebody else has, and the comparison is the thief of joy, right? We think everyone's going to operate at the same level. No, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. And it's coming together and realizing, hey, your strength, that's my weakness. So maybe I'm going to balance this out here, but I'm not going to compare myself to this person. It could be admiration of a gift and things like that, but it's recognizing we all have strengths, and often we're just focusing on our weaknesses and then devaluating ourselves. And it's that return to love and recognizing, wait, why am I focusing on all my weaknesses? I can focus on my strengths too and acknowledge my weaknesses. That's not saying to not acknowledge that there are weaknesses.
So thanks very much, Alyssa, for sharing that kind of background about how you got introduced into nutrition and also into a wider angle of healing through the holistic approach. But now I wanted to ask you, what are some tips that you can share for me and for anyone in the audience who might be asking, how can I self-care?
Yes, yes, yes. And so some in this information overload, right? Simple things, but often I see these are the most common that get neglected when we're in that stress. 1 to 10, rate your stress 1 to 10. If you're feeling your stress is at 8, 9, and 10, okay, give yourself a little extra self-care to bring that threshold and that stress back down, right? So we want to regulate the nervous system. And so elimination. How well are you eliminating? Many people do not have a bowel movement every day. We create waste every day through what we breathe, what we eat, what we consume. There is waste being created in the body. Well, how are the elimination pathways? Detoxing, sweat, skin, largest organ of the body. We need to sweat, sweating it out. We heal and transform energy through water, crying, sweating, bowel movements, urinating, all water. Great ways to eliminate. So if one elimination pathway is off or closed, work with it. If you haven't been sweating, get to moving, sweating. Hot baths also make you sweat. Moving, exercising, getting the body heat up to allow that is also when you are sweating and moving, it's going to allow more elimination. Now the intestines are moving as well, especially after eating. Now that's going to allow greater bowel movements. Enough fluids, hydration is going to allow the plumbing system to empty. What happens, Ryan, if there is not enough water in the toilet tank? What happens? You
Not
have
gonna,
no water.
not gonna flush.
It's not going to flush. So the same thing, if we don't have enough water running through us, drinking more liquids, we're not going to flush. So a big part of constipation, there's just simply not enough fluid. And so more fluids, get everything flushing. Elimination, very important. And then two, rejuvenation. How well are you allowing yourself to rest, nap, unwind? Is it go, 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 go throughout the day? There's a concept that has been taken on in society, work harder, work harder, work harder, and that has seen as success. The more stressed out you are is seen as success. Where did this come from? Like, that's not, the body is going to catch up, can't keep up with that pace. So rest, sleep, naps, give yourself that. We have daylight, we have night hours where the sun goes down. That's time to rest, rejuvenate. And so, even with rejuvenation, giving yourself that comfort, what allows you to unwind. Because often people, they tell me, I say, how do you unwind? They're like, I watch Netflix, and they're watching like this thriller. Like their nervous system is still like high in an intense mode. So, what really allows you to unwind and feel more at peace and comfort? Maybe it's a hot bath, listening to really calming music. Music can instantly get you, calming music can instantly get you into a different state. And so, this is going to help balance the nervous system. So, with the nervous system, it's some people have trouble relaxing. So maybe you need an aid and some simple aids if you're having trouble relaxing. There's an amazing amino acid. It's over the counter. Anyone can buy it. L-theanine. L-theanine is an amazing amino acid that really calms and nourishes the nervous system. It doesn't interact with any SSRIs or other medications. So if you're on that, perfectly fine to increase your L-theanine amino acid. Very good. There's CBD that is well known. Magnesium, number one mineral when we're stressed. Magnesium will get depleted. So restoring your magnesium. You can do that in a lotion. You can do it in a pill. They even have magnesium spray. You can put it directly onto the skin. So that is my number 2 tip. Number 3, back to what kind of goes with one in movement. Well, the elimination, movement, moving daily. A lot of us now work as desk jobs, especially after COVID. A lot of people don't go into work anymore. They're at home working on the computer 40 hours a day. Catch yourself, take breaks, stand up, stretch. So, movement is key. If we don't use the machine that we're in, we start to lose muscle mass quite easily. And so, but you can also build that endurance just as fast. So it's like, okay, I walk 1 mile. Whoa, that was so exhausting. We'll do it again tomorrow. The 1 mile, your endurance is already going to build based off of that start. It's going to get easier and easier. And then within the third time you do it, it's like, wow, that 1 mile was super easy. So it's like building up the endurance. It just, yes, you can lose it, but yes, you can build it up super fast with consistency and moving and sunlight. Yes, a lot of people have gym memberships. There's no sunlight. Personally, me, I'm not a fan of the gym. It just seems very, a lot of machines and not no sunlight. It's just very enclosed. So find what, maybe that's your thing. Maybe you do love the gym. Awesome. But find that connection back to nature as well. So you could be moving, local parks, state parks, with the sunlight, getting sun in your eyes. We are plants. We need that sun. Your body is a machine. It is designed to move. So number 3 would be movement. 4, Ryan, I would say nourishment, uh, building your building blocks of nourishment, nutrients, proteins, amino acids. Eliminators would be fruit, veggies, getting that fiber, pH balance, lemon, limes into your water to detox the liver every morning. This is like internal hygiene. You take a shower every morning. Well, what are you doing internally to balance the pH of the blood? A simple slice of lemon, squeeze that in the morning into the water. It's so nourishing, so hydrating, and balances the pH of the blood. If you're running too acidic, especially with too many cups of coffee, it's acidic. Perfectly fine, but just balance it with another cup of lemon water. So that'll balance the pH of the blood. Lubricators of nourishment be healthy fats, avocado, good fats, omegas, things like that. for the good fats that are needed. CBD is also a good fat for the nervous system, which the nervous system needs good fats. Very important. And number five, this is my last very important tip, and it's mindset. If you want something to change, identify it. Get clear on what you want to change. Often we don't know what we want to change. So sit down, take 5 to 10 minutes to say, what do I want to change? So the intention, what is the intention here? Well, I want to feel better. Okay, that's step one. Well, focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want. We've been trained, another thing in our society, to focus on all the things we don't want, and then the brain goes into the emotional tape loops of just focusing on all the negative things. We'll switch it to the positive. If I tell you, Ryan, don't think of the pink elephant, don't think of the pink elephant, don't do it. What do you think about?
The pink elephant.
You think of the pink elephant. So that's all the body is really hearing, pink elephant, pink elephant. And so often we're just told all the things don't. And it doesn't work that way. Focus and switch it to what you do want. Hey, I want you to think about the green tree. Well, now you're going to think about the green tree. The same, the child is climbing the playground. Don't fall, don't fall. The child falls. It's like switch it, change it, catch yourself in the don'ts to say what you do want to the child. Climb up safely. Now the child understands. And so focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want. And so it's even with health, switch it to the positive. If you don't want to be tired all the time, I hear that all the time. How are you feeling? Tired. How are you feeling? Tired. It's like, where is this coming from? It's just always, that's it. You're not feeling alive. You're not feeling excited, enthusiastic, just tired. And the person's not really just feeling tired. It's just a program of a response. Like, oh, I've been tired. I'm just working so hard. I'm just so tired. It's like, catch yourself. You're not really tired. Well, what else are you? And so if you don't want to be tired all the time, you want to feel energized. I want to feel energized. Well, when was the last time you felt energized? Wow, it's been 10 years since I felt energized. Well, if you can think it, you can create it. So now you're imagining 10 years ago, you were feeling so energized. What was different? Well, if you felt that in the past, you can feel that going forward. And so thinking of what you do want and what is the payoff, right? Often I hear too, I want more money. I want more money. It's like everyone's in this thing about wanting money and wanting more energy. Well, money is energy. And so it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I want more money. I want more energy. Well, what do you do with it? Now you have all the money in the world. What do you do with it? You have all the energy in the world. What do you do with it? And it's like, well, I've never thought of that. Well, you keep saying you want it. I thought you wanted it for something. So really think about it. What do you do with all that energy? What do you do with all that money? And now new neurons are being rewired because now new ideas and new concepts are coming in to say, whoa, if I had all that money, I would do X, Y, and Z. Wow, now you're sparking passion. Now you're sparking excitement. It's not just, I want money. That's so boring. I want money for helping my community, for building the business of my dreams, for helping my parents, whatever it is that you want money. Now it's coming from a different state of love and more connection. And that is how we can create things, is if we know why we're doing it. What are we doing it for? So the target states, identify it, and that's the mindset. The mindset will shift. And then, okay, now you know your target state. Well, what are you currently grateful for now? How much money do you have now that you can be grateful for? How much energy do you have now that you woke up this morning to see the sun? And so coming in, ending the day in the attitude of gratitude is like being grateful for where we're at right now. Yes, you can have targets for the future, acknowledge that, but being grateful for where you're at right now and how far you've come on your journey. And then it switches everything, not devaluating. Oh, I'm never going to get it. It just seems so far away. No, well, what am I grateful for right now that I've created? My achievements, my community, my family. Do I want more community? Well, how could I create that? Maybe I need to put myself out there more. Maybe I need to learn a new skill. And that just can create ripples of new opportunities to enhance well-being, health and your full livelihood is regaining that purpose. What am I waking up for in the morning, you know?
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Alyssa. And before we continue in this interview, real quick, so that myself and the audience, we don't get lost. The 5 tips. Number one,
Elimination,
elimination. Two,
rejuvenation,
three,
movement,
number four,
nourishment, nourish your cells,
and I'll do number five, mindset. All right.
mindset. Yes.
Okay. We're gonna do a pop quiz at the end. See if I remember. But well, thank you for giving us these 5 tips. And for you, which one would you say has been your favorite from these 5 tips that you have just fallen in love with the most?
I think a big part of my nervous system needed to relax, so rejuvenation. I used to grind it out so much. Workouts twice a day and all these things. And now I sleep in, I get more than 9, 10 hours of sleep, and I'm very grateful for the amount of rest I get. And I think we go through cycles, right? And so it can be it's allowing yourself to relax. If you've been going at high speeds for some time, can you give yourself time to slow down? And then the mindset. Well, now you have time to slow down, now you can reflect on things. And it's back to that gratitude is we're going to have challenges in life, acknowledging it and knowing that everything is changing. And for some people, change can feel a little scary, but it's the beauty that change and the unknown is open to new possibilities. Like that is beauty. The unknown is I can create whatever I want, like a clean canvas. That's the mindset shift rather than I need to know what's going to happen in the next 5 years or I'm so anxious. It's like, no, how about let's just stay open and curious here that it could actually get better than you ever imagined. And so that's like the big switch of, wow, it could actually get better. Wow, I've never thought of that. I thought it was only getting worse. No, that's just a concept. It's an idea that you just keep repeating in your head. So get rid of it. What if life only got better? Whoa, wow, where could I be in 5 years if I truly believe that life only gets better? So back to ideas and concepts, which we could talk about on another episode. It's like these ideas get implanted, and it's like, why am I still choosing to hold on to this idea? It's just a thought. And so if it's not serving me anymore, get rid of it. Put in a new thought. It's that easy.
Well, for you, I mean, just hitting on this about the unknown and that fear, and people are scared, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen in 5 years? How did you approach this when you started holistic wealth? Because starting anything, it can have that fear of the unknown. But here you are, still not just having your business, but you're even having your own fucking podcast. Like, how is that for you?
Yes, I think once you know and you have this, it just clicked for me. It was zero doubt. It was a flow that I know I'm going to do this next because I'm passionate about it. I was suffering. I realized I didn't have to keep telling myself life is unfair, that I got this childhood and other people got a more peaceful childhood. And I was repeating an idea that life was unfair. And so I kept creating situations in my life that were unfair and felt very unfair. And once I realized, whoa, why do I keep thinking this? Everything is, what if I can learn from this experience and actually have wisdom from it rather than being the victim of that experience? And we go through things in life and taking our power back is where that passion is going to blossom to create more of what you want and that connection back to parts of ourselves that we've forgotten connecting those parts helps us to connect to others with more empathy and love. And it's recognizing like this is going to be the 8th year that I've been working with clients, and I'm definitely not the same person from day one. I just knew I had a passion for change, and I created that change within myself. And then I get enthusiastic about things, and I was like, I have to help other people too that want help. That has been a thing for me as well. And working with that balance is, hey, work-life balance is meeting people where they're at. If someone is not asking for help, leave your opinion out. If they're asking for help, that's a very different thing. And so it's meeting people where they're at and not judging their circumstance. Who is to say that they are suffering? What if that is exactly what they need to get them to the next leap of change? And often that's where parents, I work with a lot of moms, so they're worrying about their kids, about X, Y, and Z. And it's like the child is experiencing this and they're going to be okay, just as you have experienced things and you're still here, alive and breathing. And so recognizing the mind just kind of wants to make things real serious sometimes, and it's not that serious.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. We got to hear a bit of your background, how you've evolved over the years, and how you've embraced health in a more fuller way. And now, for this part of the interview, I asked this question to every guest, and that is, Alyssa, what is your truth that heals?
What is my truth that heals? What is my truth that heals? Oh, I wasn't expecting this one. I should know this. I'm like, oh, darn. Let's see. What is the truth that heals?
Not the truth, your truth that heals.
Oh, my truth that heals. Acceptance. I think acceptance of what is. Just accept it. Be the observer of that. If there's a hurricane passing by, I accept it. Whatever it is in that moment, the moment is going to pass. Be the observer of the moment with acceptance. You don't have to love it, but the acceptance helps neutralize any disharmony within the nervous system. I see it for what it is. I accept it. Okay, this moment's going to pass. It always will pass. So it's a lot of times too we take on so much of the world's pain, and it's just let's just accept where it's at, and let's just observe, not absorb, and
Mm.
feel grounded and stable right under our own feet. Observe, not absorb. So I would say that.
Thank you so much. And where can people in the audience go find your stuff? I mean, do you have a website?
Yes, you can find me at Holistic Wealth sa.com, or yeah, I have some social media too, is at Holistic Wealth SA on Instagram.
And wealth is spelled different,
Oh,
right?
Wealth, yes. WELLTH, Wealth.
Yes. And the SA stands for San Antonio. So you're in San Antonio, but do you work with clients online or is it just in San Antonio?
Yes, I work with clients online, so everything can be done. The scan system can be done in the comfort of their home to see what blockages are coming up in the system. And so online coaching, reframing, and rebalancing, giving them the tools to create that change that is desired and bringing that awareness into the body. So yes, online is an option as well, Ryan.
Perfect. And to conclude, I did say earlier that there was going to be a pop quiz. So now you have to quiz my ass to see if I remembered, and the audience see if I remembered the 5 tips. So one of them was, of course, mindset. I'm going to get that out of the way. That was the fifth one. But there was elimination,
Mhm.
rejuvenation, and I don't I don't remember three,
Ah,
four, or five.
movement, and nourishment.
Okay, so from the top, it's number one is elimination, nourishment. What was it? No.
Rejuvenation, so
Okay, there we
rest,
go.
rejuvenating,
Okay, elimination, rejuvenation,
movement,
movement,
nourishment.
nourishment, and mindset. So thank you so much. And I hope for those of you who are in the audience, you learned something today. And of course, from these tips, we'll be able to apply it and have a better life from here. Well, so thank you so much, Alyssa Carmona, for being a guest on the Truth That Heals podcast. And for those of you who are watching, please like, share, subscribe, and please share this episode so that more people can listen to the awesome Truth That Heals given to us today by our guest, Alyssa Carmona. Again, Alyssa, thank you for being a guest on the podcast.
Thanks, Ryan. Great talking with you. Until next time.